Chief Tmoring tasing his subordinates and forcing them to play taser roulette, pointing a loaded firearm at former Officer Downey. Other allegations include abuse of Adderall, a Schedule II prescription drug, as well as distributing this drug to multiple officers in the department, which is a felony. I don't know why you're protecting the chief, but I can promise you my investigation is far from over. The fact that you disabled the public comments on the Fair Oaks Ranch YouTube channel and Facebook page tells me all I need to know about this administration. We the people have the First Amendment right to petition our grievances to our government despite this cowardice. Like a coward, he fled this city while I was in town. Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. In today's video, we will be exposing criminal police chief Tmoring to the mayor, city council, and residents of Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas. I have covered this story twice before, including an exclusive hour-long interview with the law enforcement officers who had the courage to blow the whistle on the tyranny and corruption that is running rampant in this department. If you would like to watch those videos, I will link them in the description below. Please take a second to hit the like button and share this video. Without further ado, let's get into it.
We had one individual that signed up for Citizens to be Heard, and that is Sean Paul Reyes.
I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Hello, Mr. Mayor, City Council, residents of Fair Oaks Ranch here. I am not a resident of Fair Oaks Ranch. My name is Sean Paul Reyes. I'm an investigative journalist and constitutional activist from Long Island, New York. I expose tyranny and corruption in We the People's Government while promoting transparency and accountability for everyone. The administration of this city of the city of Fair Oaks Ranch has utterly failed its constituents and employees. Several current and former law enforcement officers have reached out to me regarding the egregious criminal misconduct of Police Chief Tmoring. All of the allegations that I'm saying, I'm a journalist. I have nothing personal. I've been in your city for a few days now, and it's a beautiful city. I've enjoyed it. I've contributed to the economy here. This is nothing personal towards your city. This is, in order to have a democracy, we need to speak about these kinds of things, and it's important to mention them and address them with our government officials and public servants here, as I'm sure you all can appreciate in this great country of ours. Again, current law enforcement officers and former law enforcement have reached out to me regarding these allegations. These allegations include tasing, against Chief Tmoring, tasing his subordinates and forcing them to play taser roulette, pointing a loaded firearm at former Officer Downey, which has been corroborated by Sergeant Davila. In fact, Sergeant Davila wrote a criminal complaint against Tmoring for pointing the loaded firearm at Officer Downing, but the chief at the time, Chief Reuben, covered it up. I have here for everyone to see, because I believe evidence is very important. So I have here for everybody to see a criminal complaint that was written by Sergeant Davila. It states that on May 2nd, 2019, at approximately 13:55 hours, Sergeant Toussaint and I were having a discussion in my office. Investigator Downey standing just inside the evidence storage room as confirmed by the sign-in log. Lieutenant Tmoring walked up and started playing around with Investigator Downey. Downey was entering the evidence room in our PMI system. Tmoring walked up to my office doorway and stood sideways facing me. What immediately caught my attention was the sound of a firearm being removed from its holster and then being placed back inside again and again. As a veteran law enforcement officer, there is no mistaking the sound of a firearm that is being removed from a holster. All of a sudden, Tmoring removed his department-issued firearm from his holster and extended his arm downward at an angle, pointing it towards the floor and direction of the investigator Downey. Sergeant Toussaint and I immediately looked at each other. Tmoring walked away, and Sergeant Toussaint said, "Did he really just do that?" Lieutenant Tmoring placed all of us in immediate danger of serious bodily injury due to his reckless conduct. Tmoring knowingly pointed his firearm in the direction of another, Detective Davila. And this is the complaint form, the criminal complaint here. It was never officially submitted per Chief Reuben at the time. Other allegations include abuse of Adderall, a Schedule II prescription drug, as well as distributing this drug to multiple officers in the department, which is a felony. Consistently retaliating against officers as well as influencing internal affairs investigations in order to protect himself and his job as chief. This is commonly referred to as we've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. All of these allegations are criminal in nature, but it doesn't end there. Sources inside the department, these are not disgruntled employees, these are officers that have reached out to me that are currently in the department, but they are terrified to come forward publicly in fear of being blacklisted and losing their job. But they have reached out to me to get their story out there. Chief Tmoring has been in inappropriate situations with Finance Director Summer Fleming. It is alleged that the two of them are having an inappropriate relationship, apparently well known by the inside office, but no one dares speak up in fear of retaliation by the chief. It is also alleged that multiple officers inside and outside the department that Chief Tmoring is also having an inappropriate sexual relationship with Detective Elsie Serold. They have been seen leaving in a seized vehicle and disappearing for hours without telling anyone where they were going. Officers have also informed me that the chief's affair with Detective Serold makes her untouchable. Detective Serold was found to have made false sexual harassment statements. This is documented. False sexual harassment statements about another officer. The investigating officer recommended she be terminated because of this, but Chief Tmoring protected her just like he protected him while she investigated the three officers who came forward and blew the whistle on the chief's tyranny and corruption. Mayor Maxton, as an elected leader of the city of Fair Oaks Ranch, you bear the responsibility for all of this dysfunction, tyranny, and corruption. Chief Tmoring has not only committed crimes and engaged in multiple inappropriate sexual relationships, he has embarrassed the city of Fair Oaks Ranch to the world, and you continue to perpetuate that embarrassment by not taking any action. The so-called independent investigation that was conducted was a farce, and you know it. It didn't even investigate the alleged affairs by the Chief Tmoring. Mayor, you said in a public statement that Officer of the Year, just 1 year ago, Officer of the Year, Lacey Gonzalez, and Sergeant Paul Cepeda concocted the criminal allegations against Chief Tmoring to hide their alleged sexual relationship. Yet you failed to mention that before there was even a complaint made against the chief, Chief Tmoring himself found that the relationship never happened. And I have a letter here, again, some more evidence for all of you, City of Fair Oaks Ranch Police Department. This letter was addressed to Lacey Gonzalez. Officer Gonzalez, on July 14, 2023, an internal investigation was opened after the city received an anonymous complaint alleging gross policy violations against Sergeant Paul Cepeda. Portions of that anonymous complaint allege a conflict of interest was present, specifically the allegation of existence of improper relationship between Sergeant Cepeda and yourself. I am ruling this complaint as not sustained. I found no evidence to verify the allegations made against you and Sergeant Cepeda regarding the potential conflict of interest. With this finding, this disciplinary action will be taken, no disciplinary action will be taken in either party, and this shall be closed. Signed by Chief Tmoring.
Mr. Reyes, if you don't mind, it's been over 5 minutes now. Could you wrap up your comments?
It's been over 5 minutes? Sure, I'm almost done, sir. If you would graciously allow me to finish, I'm almost done. I don't know why you're protecting the chief, but I can promise you my investigation is far from over. The fact that you disabled the public comments on the Fair Oaks Ranch YouTube channel and Facebook page tells me all I need to know about this administration. We the people have the First Amendment right to petition our grievances to our government despite this cowardice. To the residents of Fair Oaks Ranch, I have seen all of this before. These officers who tried to do the right thing, which I'll remind you is their job. They took an oath to uphold the United States Constitution and the laws of Texas. They will win their federal lawsuits, and make no mistake, massive judgments will come from the pockets of the taxpayers. Not the mayor, and certainly not Chief Tmoring. We the people need to come together and eradicate tyranny and corruption from our government. Chief Tmoring, we the people are watching you. City Council, I hope you all do the right thing. Thank you for your time today. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
My name is Rich Nichols. I live at 8115 Windmill Circle, Fair Oaks Ranch. I'd like to speak just a little bit about what the gentleman had to say concerning our police department and the transparency that's going on. As a background, I was part of the Home Rule Charter Committee. There's a number of us in this room tonight that were part of that committee. And while we were writing up the charter for Home Rule, one of the stipulations that we had put into the charter was that any investigations or any wrongdoing by the police department would be investigated by an outside agency. And that has been done on this particular occasion. An outside agency was involved, and they made their investigation, which has been reported by the city council to the residents. Being just a resident, I'm familiar with most every allegation that has gone on within the police department. And I can say that from my point of view, the city council has done a reasonably good job of being transparent about these allegations. If there are other officers, the officers that I think are doing a good job, and certainly if there is more going on in the department that we don't know about, somebody should be looking into it and reporting to city council. But the thing that I would like to ask this gentleman is, what is it that this man from New York, who is a constitutional activist and a journalist, what is it that you're trying to accomplish by bringing this information to the city council, that most of the citizens already know about? What is it? What are you trying to accomplish by bringing this to the city council tonight? That is my question, and I relinquish the floor and microphone and everything else.
All right, fellow patriots, unfortunately, I did not have the opportunity to address the question posed to me by Mr. Nichols, but I will address it now. I am sure he will be watching this video. Mr. Nichols, the reason why I decided to fly all the way to Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas to address the mayor, city council, and the residents is to shed a light on the tyranny and corruption and retaliation that is being perpetrated by Police Chief Tmoring. Chief Tmoring has engaged in criminal conduct, and when that conduct was exposed by law enforcement officers within the department, he retaliated against them, terminating their employment and issuing them a dishonorable discharge, even going as far as to put them on the Brady list. Now, you talk about an independent investigation by an outside agency that is required by the charter of Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas, but there was never any independent outside agency that investigated these matters. There was a private investigation firm that was hired by the mayor and city council that was biased, did not thoroughly investigate these allegations, and drew the conclusion that the mayor and the city council wanted them to draw from their investigation. This was not an unbiased investigation. An agency is not a private investigation firm, sir. An agency would mean an outside law enforcement agency. Why not call on the Texas Rangers or another similar outside law enforcement independent agency to investigate these serious criminal allegations against Police Chief Tmoring? It wasn't done because the mayor and the city council does not want it done. They want to brush this under the rug. There are several law enforcement officers that have filed lawsuits against the city of Fair Oaks Ranch. There are law enforcement officers inside the department that are currently working there that have reached out to me and brought these allegations to me to expose to the world. They cannot come forward publicly in fear of retaliation by Chief Tmoring. So I ask you, sir, what else are we to do? We, the people, need to come together, whether you're from New York, Florida, California, Texas, or anywhere in between, sir. We need to come together and work together to support law enforcement who blow the whistle on tyranny and corruption. This investigation was flawed from the start. They did not speak to everyone. They only spoke to individuals that would back the narrative of Police Chief Tmoring. This needs to be handled by an outside law enforcement agency, not a private investigation firm that Police Chief Tmoring does not control. These are serious allegations, and I, as a journalist, need to bring these allegations to the forefront and conduct my own investigation and speak to my sources in order to expose this tyranny and corruption to the world. So that was my purpose in speaking at the city council meeting. I will return to Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas, to complete my investigation and continue my investigation. I will not stop. I will let every single resident in Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas, know about these videos, about the allegations against Police Chief Tmoring. There are also serious allegations of tyranny and corruption made against the former Fair Oaks Ranch Police Chief, Chief Rubin. He abruptly resigned and was pushed out by the city administration and now is working for another department. We see that happen time and time again. You leave one department, you resign, and you go work for another department, and that's exactly what he did. So I have confronted him about these allegations and asked him the right questions, and I went to the city. That video will be coming out tomorrow morning It will be an extension of this one, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Unfortunately, I was unable to speak directly to Police Chief Tmoring regarding the serious criminal allegations against him. I was told that, like a coward, he fled this city while I was in town. But not to worry, I will be returning to Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas very soon in order for him to answer to we the people. I am also told that he is not worried about any of these investigations because he has the mayor and city council in his back pocket. Lastly, I would like to speak on Lieutenant Ojeda. Lieutenant Ojeda is the right-hand man of the chief, Tmoring. He is his puppet. He does all the dirty work so that way Police Chief Tmoring can keep his hands clean as long as it doesn't involve Adderall. So Lieutenant Ojeda is a low-standards law enforcement officer. While he was only a corporal, he was caught sleeping numerous times by his colleagues, as you can see in this photo here. And not much has changed in the years he's been a law enforcement officer. Now he is lieutenant, but he is still sleeping on the job. He is not taking his job seriously and not protecting the residents of Fair Oaks Ranch under the leadership of Tmoring, but he's allowed to take these naps during business hours because he protects the chief and does his bidding. We, the people, need to come together and eradicate tyranny and corruption wherever it may lie. Whether you're a resident of Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas or not, we cannot allow any government agency to set an example that tyranny is acceptable in our country. We need to hold those responsible, make sure there is a independent, unbiased investigation, and those who are breaking the law are held accountable, and we need to protect the law enforcement officers who blow the whistle on this corruption. Let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. This is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. I have a complete investigation coming out, so stay tuned for that. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Long Island Audit. Peace.